People, 10 of these victims still need to be identified at this time. Currently, there is an arrest warrant for 8 counts of murder for Mr. Card. And the reason it's 8 counts because 10 people have not yet been identified. As those people are identified, the counts will probably go to the total of 18.
This is a dark time in America. We have a lot of problems, and we're really, really hopeful and prayerful.
In the wake of yet another mass shooting in the United States, we were introduced to some groundbreaking insight from the new Republican speaker.
Prayer is appropriate in a time like this, that the evil can end and this senseless violence can stop. And so that's the statement this morning on behalf of the entire House of Representatives. Everyone wants this to end, and I'll leave it there.
Yeah, can't believe nobody thought of that before. But as the inevitable mudslinging commences with little to no action expected from the GOP.
Just one night of bowling, and out of nowhere he just came in and there was a loud pop. Thought it was a balloon. I had my back turned to the door. And as soon as I turned and saw it was not a balloon, he was holding a weapon, I just booked it down the lane, and I slid basically into where the pins are and climbed up in the machine and was on top of the machines for about 10 minutes until the cops got there, just to bowl by myself. And yeah, I wasn't even there 10 minutes.
I wanted to throw to an old video that I did discussing how my homeland of Scotland dealt with the issue after one unimaginable tragedy. Did you know that Scotland once had a mass shooting? I was about 5 years old, and I remember it. A gunman entered a Dunblane primary school and he killed 16 students and a teacher.
The shooting massacre at the high school in Parkland, Florida, is once again raising questions about gun violence in America. It comes more than 20 years after a gunman killed 16 grade school children and their teacher in Dunblane, Scotland.
Each mass shooting in America echoes in the hills of Scotland. In 1996, he and other parents rushed to Dunblane Primary School after a gunman armed with 4 handguns opened fire there.
I'm absolutely numb. I just can't believe something like this has happened.
Within 2 weeks, the UK government got together and they enacted strict gun laws.
Shooting here devastated the town of Dunblane and the entire country and led to a nationwide campaign to ban private handguns. Within a year, North and other parents pushed politicians to pass some of the toughest gun legislation in the world.
In the 26 years since they enacted those strict gun laws, how many school shootings do you think Scotland and the United Kingdom as a whole have had? 0. We don't have to live like this. We just don't. And the reason I throw to this video is to remind the American people that this is not just how it is. This is a choice.
Today in Britain, all handguns and semi-automatic firearms are prohibited. You can only use manually loaded rifles and shotguns for hunting or hobbies at shooting clubs like this one in London. Member Sherman Strobel says getting a gun license from the police can take months.
They check how many parking tickets you've had, whether you've ever had a drink and drive.
The police will also visit your home to make sure you store your gun in a safe like this and may ask your doctor about your mental health.
Getting more color on Robert Card's background, and it's concerning. Fox News did review an internal law enforcement bulletin going out to the Maine State Police, which says that Robert Card does have a military background. He's believed to be part of the Army Reserve. He's a firearms instructor and is known to have mental health issues. Particularly had reported hearing voices in his head, had previously threatened to shoot up a military base before, and as recently as this summer, spent 2 weeks in a mental health facility.
I need to keep stressing this. It's a choice to live this way. A choice that politicians in bed with the gun lobby make every single day in this country, regardless of the cost.
22 years since the shooting in Dunblane, Britain has experienced only one deadly mass shooting, while the US has had more than 75.
Our response in the UK matched the culture here, which is not one that particularly wants ownership of guns.
And the US?
The US I still don't understand what goes on in the US.
The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
A number of my colleagues have invoked the Second Amendment. They only quote half of it. They say the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. What about the first half of it? A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. They say, we want to repeal the Second Amendment. Mr. Speaker, we don't want them to repeal the Second Amendment. We want them to read the Second Amendment. Because the Second Amendment would ask us why we are allowing people to go into elementary schools, Walmarts, supermarkets, churches and synagogues all over America with AR-15s enabled sometimes with the stabilizing brace, as in Dayton, Ohio, Boulder, Colorado, Colorado Springs, Nashville, Tennessee, and assassinate our people.
It doesn't have to be like this. This is a choice.
In 1996, the same year as the mass shooting in Dunblane, a gunman in Australia killed 35 people. That led the country to pass sweeping gun reforms. Germany did the same after school shootings in 2002 and 2009. In those countries, gun violence has not disappeared, but deadly mass shootings are very rare.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.